Tesla just switched on Cortex 2, an AI supercomputer cluster built for one purpose: feeding full self-driving. More than 130,000 GPUs grinding around the clock, and the fleet has now crossed 8.3 billion miles of real-world driving data. That's over 100 times what Waymo has logged. So here's the question. If a rival started pushing cars onto the road today, how many years would it take to close that gap? And would Musk just stand there and let them? Let's pull this machine apart, layer by layer.
We have seen the first crude beginnings of artificial intelligence. It doesn't really exist yet at any level because our most complex computers are still morons, high-speed morons, but still morons. Nevertheless,
2 wars, 1 battlefield. To understand why one number gives Musk the confidence to call himself untouchable, you have to zoom out and see the shape of AI in 2026. Because this is no longer a single race. It is split into 2 completely separate wars, and most people still haven't noticed. The first war happens inside server racks. ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, all clawing at each other week after week to see who writes cleaner, reasons sharper, paints prettier pictures. That entire battle unfolds across a few hundred data centers, and not one of those models has ever needed to know whether it's raining outside. The second war is brutal in a way the first never will be. It's machines that must actually see the world and act inside it. A car braking for a pedestrian who steps off the curb in the dark. A robot hand closing around a glass without shattering it. Musk calls this fighting over atoms instead of bits, and to win it, you need 3 things at once. Enough chips to train enormous models, enough electricity to run them without rest, and real-world data in quantities so vast that no checkbook can replace it. So which company on Earth is holding all 3 pieces right now? And why does dropping even one of them collapse the entire thing?
2020 versus 2016. Just how much has the Tesla Model X improved since 2016? I'm Jonathan Stewart, and welcome to Cleaner Watt.
The reversal nobody believed. Rewind 6 years and the idea was laughable. Back in 2020, Tesla was an EV maker, fighting to push 500,000 cars out the door in a year. BYD was undercutting it from below on price. Ford, Volkswagen, and GM were each pouring billions into going electric. If Tesla had been only a car company, one ugly automotive downturn could have cracked the whole empire. But Musk had spotted something the rest of the industry would take years to admit. Every Tesla that rolled off the line wasn't just a product. It was a rolling sensor array, harvesting data day and night on roads across 3 continents. 8 cameras logging every hard brake, every jaywalker, every raindrop hitting the glass. That's raw material no amount of cash can purchase. A company could buy every GPU on the planet, but with no real-world data, its model is a kid who's never once left the house. So Musk made the call Wall Street needed years to decode. Tesla would stop being a car company that dabbles in AI and become an AI company that happens to build cars. It sounds like word games. It wasn't. That single flip rewired how the company invested, who it hired, and what it shipped for the next 6 years straight.
Technology improves over time, and I advocate for that 100%. It's not like you go out.
The silicon nobody asked for. It started quietly in 2019 with Hardware 3, the first self-driving chip Tesla ever designed itself. The industry snickered. Why would a car maker bake its own silicon when Nvidia and Mobileye were already selling it off the shelf? 4 years later, Hardware 4 landed on Samsung's 7nm process with several times the muscle of the version before it. And as we speak, AI 5 is in final validation while AI 6 is already on the drawing board. That makes Tesla the only automaker alive that simultaneously controls the chip, the camera, the software stack, and the vehicle carrying all of it. Nobody else stands on that ground. Then came the most controversial decision in the company's history. Kill LiDAR, run on cameras alone. while Waymo bolted tens of thousands of dollars of spinning sensors onto every car and painstakingly mapped each city centimeter by centimeter, Tesla swam the other way. The bet was simple. If a human drives with two eyes, an AI can drive with cameras. And here's the consequence almost nobody clocked at the time. Cameras are cheap, so Tesla could put them in millions of cars. Millions of cars meant billions of miles. Waymo had to crawl city by city. Tesla was already drinking from every road in America, Europe, and China.
Team at X is building a massive AI supercomputer that encompasses over 100,000 GPUs.
The bottleneck nobody else saw. By 2024, the real genius surfaced. The whole tech world was queuing for NVIDIA's H100s, and Musk pointed at a wall almost no one could see: power. Chip production was climbing exponentially, but US electricity generation was creeping up only a few percent a year. The math was ugly. Pretty soon, there would be more AI chips manufactured than there was power to run them. That wasn't a chip problem anymore. It was an infrastructure problem. So while everyone else fought over GPU allocation lists, Tesla had quietly ordered hundreds of industrial-scale substation transformers and stockpiled them at Giga, Texas. 2 years on, when fresh data centers were waiting years for transformer deliveries, Tesla already had every piece in hand. That's how Cortex 2 came online this past spring. More than 130,000 H100-equivalent GPUs running nonstop to train FSD and Optimus. Not because Tesla bought chips faster, but because it locked down the electricity to feed them before rivals even thought to ask. NVIDIA has since confirmed what the market only whispered. Tesla is its single largest automotive customer, not for the chips inside the cars, but for the billions spent on data center silicon. The company everyone calls the symbol of clean energy turns out to be the biggest AI buyer in the auto world. And that's a sentence most of this audience has never heard said out loud. The battery war hiding inside the AI war. Here's the layer that connects the cars to the supercomputer, and it's the one almost everyone skips. None of this matters if Tesla can't build batteries cheaply enough to keep millions of data-collecting cars on the road. And for years, that was the soft spot. When Musk unveiled the 4680 cell on Battery Day in 2020, he promised a revolution, and for a long stretch, it underdelivered. Early in-house 4680 cells came in around 244 watt-hours per kilogram, actually below the Panasonic 2170 cells they were meant to replace. Critics had a field day. Then, at the end of 2025, the story flipped. Tesla confirmed in its Q4 letter that it had finally cracked the full dry electrode process for both the anode and the cathode, the holy grail it had chased since buying Maxwell Technologies back in 2019. The newest generation 34680 cells are now reported near 300 watt-hours per kilogram, enough for roughly a 15% range bump with no bigger pack. More importantly, the dry process strips out the toxic solvent and the 50-meter drying ovens that gulp energy, pushing Tesla toward the sub-$100 per kilowatt-hour pack that has been the entire industry's white whale. Cheaper packs mean more cars. More cars mean more miles. More miles feed the exact same flywheel that feeds the AI. The battery isn't a side story. It's the fuel line.
Help me change the world one electric car at a time. If you're in the market to buy a Tesla car, please use my referral code. I am telling you, I am obsessed with batteries. As you know, battery is still the main component of electric car, the most expensive one.
Putting every rival on the scale. In fairness to every competitor, let's actually weigh this honestly. This isn't about dunking on anyone. It's about seeing exactly where Tesla leads and where it doesn't. On data scale, Tesla holds 8.3 billion supervised FSD miles as of early this year, against Waymo's roughly 71 million fully driverless miles. Those are different animals. Waymo's data is cleaner, fully autonomous with no human babysitting. Tesla's is over 100 times larger and spread across far more of the planet. So which trains the better AI long-term, the small spotless set, or the colossal messy one? On safety, Tesla's FSD logs roughly one accident every 5.3 million miles. The average American driver crashes about every 660,000. That's an 8-to-1 gap nobody would have bet on 5 years ago. Now flip to the battery board, because this is where the picture gets interesting. Tesla's 4680 leans on a high-nickel NMC chemistry that delivers serious energy density, around 241 watt-hours per kilogram in independent teardowns. BYD's blade cell, built on lithium iron phosphate, sits closer to 160, roughly a third less energy by weight. But BYD wins on thermal stability, cycle life, and raw cost, somewhere near 25 euros per kilowatt hour against Tesla's 37. Meanwhile, CATL keeps shipping prismatic cells that rival or beat the 4680 on pack level density. Every one of these companies is ferociously good at a single thing. BYD outsells Tesla on volume. CATL leads on cells. Google DeepMind has world-class AI but no cars and no factories. Boston Dynamics has the best robots but no fleet pulling in real-world data. Not one of them holds all the layers at once. That's the whole point. The cracks in the machine. But if we only counted the wins, this would just be a commercial. So let's stare straight at the cracks. BYD officially passed Tesla in total EV sales in 2025. Tesla delivered 1.63 million vehicles that year, down 9%, the second straight annual decline. Full-year revenue slipped about 3% to $94.8 billion, the first time annual revenue has ever fallen in the company's history. Terafab, the chip megaproject, is an enormous gamble. Outside estimates put full construction somewhere between $35 and $45 billion, with first chips unlikely before 2028. Prediction markets give Optimus only a small chance of meaningful commercial sale this year. FSD version 15, despite the promises, still has no firm release date, and Musk's track record on self-driving timelines has, let's say, not always matched the calendar. On batteries, the dry electrode win is real but young. Scaling Gen 3 4680 production to millions of packs without quality slips is a different mountain than proving it on a pilot line. These are facts any serious analyst is obligated to put on the scale. The data lead is gigantic, but a lead means nothing until it converts into cars sold and revenue earned. So if deliveries are sliding, if Terafab hasn't fully broken ground, if Optimus isn't on driveways yet, what is actually holding the untouchable thesis upright? The flywheel that won't stop. The answer hides inside a concept the industry gives a poetic name: the data flywheel. Every modern AI learns from data, and the more real-world data it sees, the better it gets at the freak situations that break lesser systems. A flooded underpass. An ambulance barreling the wrong way down a one-way street at 3 a.m. A toddler bolting out from between two parked cars. No lab can fake those with enough fidelity. Only billions of genuine miles surface them in real numbers. So run the hypothetical. Say Waymo or some billion-dollar startup decided to chase Tesla starting today. They'd have to flood public roads with millions of fully censored vehicles, sign deals with automakers, build a charging network, and hire a small army of engineers. Even with bottomless money, that's 5 to 7 years just to start collecting data near Tesla's current baseline. And here's the genuinely alarming part. Across those 5 to 7 years, Tesla doesn't freeze. The fleet keeps rolling, swallowing tens of millions of fresh miles every week. Cortex 2 keeps training. The 4680 line keeps making cheaper packs that put more cars on more roads. By the time a rival reaches 8 billion miles, Tesla may be sitting at 50 billion or 100. That's what untouchable actually means. Not that Tesla is flawless or can't be wounded, but that the gap widens every single day, every hour, every minute. Every car sold today isn't just today's revenue. It's a wall that pushes the competition's finish line back another few months. Warren Buffett had a name for that kind of advantage, a self-reinforcing moat. The longer it runs, the deeper it cuts, the harder it is to cross. So strip away the noise, and here's the real message. The dry numbers: 130,000 GPUs, 8.3 billion miles, one crash every 5.3 million miles. A battery finally cracking 300 watt-hours per kilogram? None of it is bragging. It's the fruit of a decision made 6 years ago, ripening at exactly the right moment. In a world sprinting after AI, Tesla doesn't need to run fastest. It just needs to be the only one that truly knows the road ahead. Whether it can hold that moat through 2030 while the whole industry accelerates behind it, nobody can say for certain. If any part of this analysis didn't convince you, drop a comment and let's dig into it together. And if you found this useful, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.